Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. It seems as if Fubara is about to get some level of respite. Help and aid is coming on from a party that he least expect. Just a few days back, it made viral. Some group of persons insisting and telling Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Fubara is still unrepentant and is making a move against his re-election. Of course, Fubara have not responded to that group and to that allegation that is viral. But one of the documents that have been cited by our media platform by ADC that have decided to take this whole matter to court and take Ibas, the sole administrator of Rivers State, to court. It has been made viral. We're going to read the content in a moment. Now, according to the details, this is PHC / that document is PHC / 3126/CS/2025 in the High Court of Rivers State of Nigeria in Port Harcourt Judicial Division, holding at Port Harcourt suit number PHC/CS/2025 in the matter of the administration of Rivers State by Vice Admiral Ette Ibas, retired. Now, this is between African Democratic Congress, which is the claimant, and the Vice Admiral Ette Ibas, retired, the sole administrator of Rivers State, which is part of the defendant, the government of Rivers State of Nigeria, which is part of the defendant, Attorney General of Rivers State of Nigeria, which is Attorney General of Rivers State, which is also the defendant, and Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, which is RISEC. Now, originating summons brought pursuant to Order 2 Rules Sub 1 and 2 of the Rivers State High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2023, Section 176 1 and 2, 197 Sub 1 and Sub 3, and 198 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, Section 2 Sub 2 and 20 Sub 1A 1 to 2 of Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission Law 2018 under the inherent jurisdiction of the Honorable Court. Let all the first and second defendant of Rivers State Government House, Port Harcourt City, Local Government Area of Rivers State, 3. Defendant of the third defendant of Rivers State Ministry of Justice, Port Harcourt, and fourth defendant of number 239 to 243 Abba Road, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, within 21 days after the service of the originating summons on you, inclusive of the day of such service, do cause an appearance to be entered for you in an action at the suit of African Democratic Congress, the claimant, whose address for service is GC China & Co., Plot 45 Ohia Street, Amadi Flat, Old GRA Extension, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, who claims to be entitled to the determination of the following questions. A. Whether the first defendant, not being executive governor of Rivers State, can lawfully or validly exercise duties of an executive governor. And they went on and listed a lot of prayers they want the court to address. But meanwhile, this was happening prior to this time, that probably must have engineered a lot of reactions. Yet the group, what they said about Fubara and what they're warning Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the host of APC to move in now. We'll come back for more on this. Let's listen to them as they took their time and listed their grievances against Fubara and what is going on behind the scene.
The contractors, Julius Berger, MCC, and Krembo, named in the first report, should publicly reaffirm that they are committed to transparency and also distance themselves from the propaganda of inflated sums being peddled by unscrupulous elements. This will, in no doubt, further expose the hollowness of these allegations. And finally, Governor Fubara must be held accountable for his baseless campaign of blackmail. We are certain that his penchant for propaganda will once again plunge Rivers into political unrest if this goes unchecked, thereby undoing the peace and stability which the sole administrator has painstakingly maintained. In conclusion, the National Good Governance advocates wish to remind everyone that behind every dramatic turn in history lies a crucible moment of painful reckoning. For some, the emergency rule may have seemed premature, excessive even. Yet, as we observe the return of peace, the reopening of institutions, and the restoration of public faith, we must acknowledge that inaction would have been catastrophic in this case, because waiting for the breakdown of law and order to cascade into anarchy before acting is akin to refusing to deploy firefighters until the house is reduced to cinders. However, Mr. President, bound by his oath, did ignite the spark of decisive intervention and did not falter, nor did he abdicate responsibility. The President's oath did not permit him to stand by while partisan strife strangled any of the nation he was bound to protect. No, it demanded action. Vice Admiral Ibas, in turn, answered the clarion call with a rare combination of discipline and empathy, with structure and civility, with decisiveness and integrity. The National Good Governance Advocate reiterates in the strongest possible terms that the allegation of contract inflation and treasury looting against Admiral Ibas are baseless, malicious, and politically sponsored. They emanated from the propaganda arsenals of a governor who has returned from suspension not with humility but with hostility, not with repentance but rebellion. Governor Fubara, on the other hand, has demonstrated that he remains unrepentant, self-absorbed, and vengeful. His obsession with propaganda is a danger to Rivers State and a threat to Nigerian democratic stability. His conduct must therefore be monitored closely by President Tinubu and resisted by all who care for peace within and outside Rivers. Let it be known to all, Rivers State belongs to its people, not to the whims of a rebellious governor. Its treasury is not a pawn in the game of propaganda. Therefore, let Rivers State, and indeed all Nigerians, remember this time as the dawn of a new governance and not of authoritarian imposition. Let Admiral Ibas not merely be remembered for stabilizing a state under emergency, but for designing the foundational stones for its peaceful democratic rebirth. Indeed, the National Good Governance Advocate thanked Mr. President for his timely intervention and equally commend Admiral Ibas for answering a call to service once again.